Hi, this is Dorothy with Scrapbooking, and today I'm going to do another Daisy Meadows layout. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take like some parts of one of the layouts and mix it with parts of the other layout and just kind of do a mix and match instead of just going straight ahead with the instructions as they are, which, certainly can be done because they're very cute layouts. But I just don't see any little bunnies in the future right now here. So, I mean, we have bunnies in the backyard, and I think these bunnies on the paper are adorable. But the cutout bunnies were, I think, a little bit young for where we are right now. So anyway, I am going to just kind of go ahead and do my thing here. And so I'm going to use the wonderful plaid that comes with the Daisy Meadows Workshop. So I just think this plaid is really lovely. Maybe it's just the colors that I like so much. But I really like this plaid, and I'm not terrifically fond of plaids, but this one I really love. And it's going to stick out about a little bit more than half an inch, maybe, a little bit over a half an inch from around the side. It's going to be the very base of the pages. So I'm taking a half inch off of the peach, which is another one of the coordinated cardstocks. So I'm just kind of give it a feel. So a half inch off the peach is just going to show a quarter of an inch all around, and that's not near enough. I meant to say the plaid is going to stay 12 by 12. That's the base layer. And so I'm taking another quarter of an inch. So that would be a total of 3/4 of an inch off of two sides of the peach. And that kind of shows a good amount of the plaid that I wanted to show through. And so the white daisy is going to have 1 inch taken off. Now, as far as these strips, the 1/4 inch strips, even the half inch strips, could totally be used as journaling strips. So don't throw those out. And you can always use 1 inch for something. But anyway, so we just have a little bit of the peach coming out from behind the white. And so I like the way that looks. So once again, 3/4 of an inch off of one side, flip it 90 degrees, and 3/4 of an inch off the other side. And that takes care of the other base of the second base page. And I just have to get another piece of white daisy. So here we are back with white daisy, and I'm taking my inch off and inch. So now the second base page is cut and ready to go. So this is kind of a namesake, the Daisy Meadow with the little bunnies. They just like the cutest things ever. And so on the second page, on the right-hand page, we're going to put 4x4s, 4x4 inch pictures. So I'm going to cut the bunny paper 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Now you could cut it 4 1/2 by 4 1/2 to have more of the bunny paper showing through, and that would be totally cute. So that's like, you could put a 3x4 on there if you wanted to, because it has enough kind of that would overlap or stick out. So the first page that's going to have the egg on it, so that's going to be the left-hand page. I'm going to, instead of putting a 4x6, I'm going to put a 5x7. And so I'm going to cut it at 7 1/4 by 5 1/4. Once again, you could cut it 7 1/2 by 5 1/2 and just have a little bit more of the paper showing through, and that would actually be very cute. So I'm going to take this and make another 4¼ by 4¼ So the right-hand page will have 3 4x4 pictures and a 4x4 journaling card. So those are my backgrounds. Excuse me, my husband just came in. Do you have something to say? I need to have one of those little recording lights out in front of outside my room. Anyway, I'm going to cut a piece. That's the journaling card. And I'm not going to put it on the bunny paper. I'm going to put it on just plain peach cardstock or smoothie cardstock. So I'm going to set that aside for right now. So why do you all flip over your white cardstock to put Tombow on it? Every time I do that, I think, why am I flipping? Because they're both the same color white. Why do I flip it over? It's just, yeah, it's just one of those things. Habit without thinking. Okay, hate to cover up all that pretty plaid, but at least a goodly amount is showing on the other side. And I do like the peach. Now I have to tell you, I tried peacock to have it be a little bit stronger edge around the white daisy, but I went back to the peach and decided I really liked not such a bold statement around the white daisy. So I'm pretty happy with that. And it kind of blends nicely with the egg. So the egg was one of the die cuts that comes with the workshop. So what I'm doing is I'm taking one of our distressed oxides. This is tattered rose. That's why it's so pale. You have to really work at putting it on there and showing up. So I just want an edge around the egg. Just to, give it a little kind of a shadowing effect. Or anyway, they're showing this on some of the pages with the Daisy Meadows, and I really like the way it looks, and I have to get more used to using these distressed oxides. They're really they're very creamy, very easy to put down. This one is a little bit more so just because it's so pale, so I'm kind of working a little bit harder at it. And so I'm just kind of doing a circular motion just because that's the easiest thing to do. And you can work in the circles so that the circles don't stick out so much. But I'm going to be covering up a lot of this. There's just going to be an edge showing. Oops, dropped it. You see how pale that is? It's really, really light. But it goes really well with the peach. So I like that. Anyway, you could, now if you started on the inside of the egg that's going to get covered up with your circle, and then move to the outside, then you wouldn't have as many circles like I've got. But like I said, if you just work it, then the circles will disappear, and you really don't see much. So, I'm totally okay with that. But I really like this effect. It's just very soft, very, pretty subtle. So I like that. Anyway, and I'm getting to use my distressed oxides to try to, work them into my layouts more. So that is going to be my mat for my 5x7. So I'm going to get a photo placeholder and put it on there so I remember it's not a 4x6. And it's just a little hint. Like I said, you could totally make this 7.5 by 5.5 to have more of an edge showing. And I think that paper is so cute that it's well worth doing that. Now I decided I already used The Spring is in the Air. And so since an egg is kind of a symbol of a beginning, I am going to use The New Beginnings as a title for this layout. Kind of a new beginning for spring. Spring is like a whole nother year, waking up and starting afresh. And so that's kind of my thought with that. Now I probably could have cut out an Easter title from Cricut. Didn't think about that until just now. And I like the beginnings, the new beginnings. And I like this font, and I like how strong the peacock prints when you stamp it. I mean, it's just a nice, strong look to it. So there's my beginnings. I'm trying to get it straight, give it a good press. And like I said, it's a really strong look. Nothing wishy-washy about that. So clean off my title, my beginnings, and then I'll put the new on. And the new is in a different font. So, beginnings is it's a beautiful script. And the new is a pretty kind of modern looking font and very, very simple, no serifs or anything. So very different from the beginnings. Just testing it out because I hadn't used this before, and I'm gonna kind of scooch it around so I can get a better idea of where I'm putting it. We have on our blocks, we have a faint line going on the edge, and so you can run your stamp along that edge so that you know you're putting it on your block straight. And then when it's on there, then you can line the edge of the block up with something else to help you get things as straight as possible. So there's my title. Put that away, I can get in trouble with that. And see, the backside of those bunnies is just adorable eggs. Now you could totally decorate this egg like they do on the workshop. They decorate it with strips of 1/2-inch paper. They also use the 1/4-inch. They also use the zip strips to decorate the egg. But I just I'm going to put a big sticker at the top, which is a big bouquet of flowers, and then I'm going to put some flowers at the bottom. So there's the tattered rose. And we carry some of the distressed oxide and also that mini blending tool with extra little pads, and they just Velcro onto the tool itself. So it's really easy to take them off and wash them, and then put them back in your where you store them. So this is what I'm going to put up there at the top. And I just thought it's a beautiful spray of flowers. And I'm going to, we have all these wonderful stickers, and then what do? I don't remove the stickum, but I undo the stickum by putting the anti-static pouch on there, which releases some powder, which takes away the stickum. And so then but the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to raise it up with some of my foam pieces from the one of my hearts that I made a shaker card with. So it's going to raise above the picture, and so it's gonna cover up a good portion of the top of that egg. And that's why I decided to not add the stripes to the egg, because it was just not really necessary, in my opinion. But you can do what you want to do. I was wondering if even using some washi tape, but you would want to put it on the egg before you put the egg down so that you can cut the edges off along the edge of the egg. But you could use a lot of stuff. Some pretty stuff would be some of our shimmer tape, our glittery tape. That would be real pretty on the egg, actually. And so I think that's really lovely. Now I've got peacock ink on my fingers. So the other thing I'm going to do down at the bottom is I'm going to take, I have a bunch of the die cuts that I made from the Daisy Meadow stamp set and thin cuts. And so I'm going to make another spray of flowers down at the bottom. So it was real simple to just go ahead and cut out a whole bunch. When I was cutting a few out, I cut out a whole bunch. And I inked them previously so that'd be nice and dry, and using the stamp that goes with this whole set. So you get the stamp set and the thin cuts in one. And so it has these wonderful flowers and the two titles that are New Beginnings and Spring is in the Air. So it's a very nice stamp set and thin cut. And so I am going to go ahead and use my tri-blend markers to color all of my pieces that I'm going to use on this. So this is the coral blend marker. And I'm just going around the outside. And you've seen me do this. I run a darker color around the outside of the area of interest, and along any kind of lines that are there, like the kind of veins part of the petal. And then fill it in with one of the lighter versions of the same marker. So you get a dark, a medium, and a light. So it makes it very simple for having your colors match just the way you want them to. So I'm using the lighter now. And it's fairly close to that medium. I didn't use the darkest. But now if I wanted that to be more of a shading look, I could go over it again with the dark, the other end of the marker, which is the dark end. So it just kind of depends whether you want subtle or more showy. But I think this is a really pretty color, and the coral is absolutely perfect with our peach cardstock. Then I'm using the darker coral for the inside of the flower. And then fill it in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to make the berries dark. Excuse me again. So the berries are getting to be the dark coral color, so they stick out nicely. And then I'm also going to do the same treatment of the center of this flower, but I'm not going to make that flower coral. We're going to go with a yellow outline on this one, and I'm using the medium yellow, and I'm just going to do the outline of the petals and the veins of the petals, and then I'm leaving the outside yellow. I mean, the outside is yellow, the inside is going to be just left white. because after a while it's enough of a yellow hint that it kind of carries to the center, and it could look like, I don't know, daisy-ish maybe. So anyway, the inside doesn't really need to be colored, I don't think. Just a different effect. So I'm using the green now to do the leaves. I think this is the citrus green. And this is such a simple way of coloring that, it doesn't really... See, although I use the medium, the light kind of makes the medium go away for some reason. It's kind of weird that the light isn't lighter. Anyway. And with that in mind, I'm using the darker one. And see if that makes it a little bit different. And it's okay to have leaves different colored. Everything doesn't have to be. The leaves on the stickers are glacier, peacock, and looks like fern to me. So we've got all different colors of leaves. And see, this is more the effect I like, is where it's lighter on the inside and the outside is a darker look. It just adds a little bit more depth to me that way. So anyway, but it's a little bit different look, and that's fine. So I'm going to take, now this is another thing that you can do. You can cut everything in your white cardstock and color it whatever colors you want, or you can go ahead and make some thin cuts that are in coordinating colors that of the papers that you're using. And so I made some peach and some glacier die cuts. And then you can ink on them with either the same color, either peach and glacier, or a little bit of a darker color, like I'll put peacock on the glacier, and that'll look really nice. They coordinate nicely together. And so you don't have to worry about, taking a white one with black and then having to color it. You've already got your color going on here, and you can save yourself some time. And you get a very nice effect, I think. So I'm just going to clean that one off. Someplace around here I've got a peach flower that I cut, but I can't find it right now. How do you work neatly all the time? I mean, when I cook, I'm a very neat cook. I'm cleaning dishes the whole time I'm cooking. And so what I finish using goes in the sink or the dishwasher, and I don't fill up the whole counter with all the pots and pans and ingredients that I'm using. I put things away as I finish using them. I don't know, with scrapbooking, it's a whole different game for me. There it is. I found it. It's just a whole different game. It's like I start feeling like I'm being overtaken by my supplies. I don't know how different people work different ways, I guess, doing different things, but holy moly. I kind of make myself crazy because I feel like I'm being taken over by all of my tools and supplies and what have you. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is use the peach ink on the peach cardstock. And it's like too light. So I'm going to put that away. And then I'm going to take a chance and do smoothie on top of where I just inked. And that looks better. Boop. So I think that's a nice technique. Color on color, you know, saves you some time for doing actual coloring, but it's a really nice look too. So, and it's a little different from the white with the black and colored in. You can tell I'm not using watercolor cardstock because it just pours right through. So I'm going to pop up my bigger flowers, and then most of the other things I'm just going to kind of tuck underneath. And I'll let the leaves overlap, but there's no, I didn't put any of the foam pieces underneath the leaves, so they can just, you know, a picture can slip under it. So I've got one color leaf on one side, and I didn't put that flower down yet. I kind of like the way that flower looks with just the yellow on the outside. I'm liking that more and more. It kind of looks like they used kind of a gray on the sticker there, which is also something I could have done. Just little shadowing with the peach on the inside. That looks pretty. So these down below, I have things listed, you know, it's the Daisy Meadows Workshop. So if you are interested in doing these beautiful workshops, you know, then you can purchase them from my website at dorothy.ctmh.com. And you'll get to make at least 3 2-page layouts if you want to follow the instructions, or if you want to go back and watch my videos here and work along with me, you can totally do that at your convenience. So, and you can stop and rewind and see how goofy I am. So there's my flowers, and I think I like the way the flowers look without having the stripes kind of take away. If I put stripes on my egg, that's what I'm thinking. And so I'm kind of okay with just the flowers kind of showing up. It's not so super busy looking. Okay, so for my second, I'm going to go ahead and make the base page for the layout. So I'm going to put a good amount of Tombow over there. So anyway, I was saying you can purchase this on my website and work along with me, or follow the instructions. The instructions that come with all of our workshops are very easy to understand. We also have instructions that are downloadable it's usually on the same page that you're ordering from. Then right below the description, it'll say download guide, and you can download it to your printer and print it off. You know, whichever you rather. Sometimes our bundles don't come with instructions. Those are special bundles. Usually they do, but sometimes they don't. The workshops always come with instructions. But anyway, there is that. Just want to let you know that there is a downloadable guide. So I'm putting my 4x4 placeholders on top of my 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 bunny background frames, picture frames. So there we are. So this is going to be the coordinated second page to the big egg page. And I'm kind of like thinking about what to do. So somehow I missed. So I'm showing you, I think that it kind of looked blank to me. So what I did was I took my peach shimmer brush and I put little shimmer sparkles all over the background before I put the little bunny picture placeholders on there. So somehow that didn't, I missed hitting the record button. But anyway, the shimmer brush, you just tap the edge of it, and I squeeze a little bit out onto, either scrap paper or onto one of my blocks. And then you don't want to get your tip too wet, and you just tap it lightly and put as much or as little as you want on there. Up to you. So I'm just making sure that's a 4x4, and so I'm going to cut a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, like I did for the other pictures. So I'm probably going to go back and add a little bit of splatter to the first page just to kind of coordinate the two of them. But I really, I love the way the splatter looks. It's a super easy technique. Our shimmer brushes come in all different colors. I could have used a peacock on there if I wanted a more bold look. We've got a pale blue that I could have used on there, or even a lemonade. I mean, and I have several pinks. So there's a number of colors I could have used on there, but the peach was just perfect with this. And so, it's up to you on how bold you want to go. And the sticker sheet, so that's a die cut that came with one of the die cut pages. And so I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to tuck it under that, the journaling piece, putting some Tombow on it, just to add a little bit of interest there. So I just want the ends to go under the paper. And then we've got some cute eggs that I'm going to kind of put on top of there. And that coordinates with, the big egg. So you kind of know where you are in the season of the year. I'm trying to get it under, but that's okay. I'm going to put it on top, and that will be just fine, and I'll write around it. That's actually a cute egg, the way they designed it. So that's an area of interest. I should have used that bunny. That bunny is just so cute. He could have gotten popped up. I might have to use the anti-static pouch on the back of that little bunny, and then put a pop-up on the back of him and stick him right in the middle of all the pictures, because he is just too cute to not use. And they have someplace there are little bows on the sticker sheet. I decided to use little hearts. And there's some little tiny flecks of whatever color. And so I'm adding some of those up along with my splatters. So that little cluster of eggs is cute also. That could also get popped up in the middle of all those pictures. That would actually be cute also. So would the basket of daisies. Oh, such a decision to make. It's hard. There's so many cute things on this paper. It's just adorable. So you could really just kind of, you're going to have enough leftover scraps from the papers that you could make your own pages up, or even some cards for Easter. Easter's coming up fairly quickly in another, week or two? Let me see. I know it's April 4th. I think it's my birthday. So I'm putting the other half on the top one there. And I'm just trying to hide the cut edges underneath the paper. So there we go. And there's one more egg, and that's such a pretty egg that I'm going to use my anti-static pouch again, but not all over. I'm going to leave it so that the picture can slip under that egg, and it'll stick on the one side. Yeah, that's cute. Anyway, this paper is, I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I love the dots that come with it. You could totally use way more dots than I used. I think that I've just tried to hold myself back from not using too many, since I do go overboard, but I think I could have used more. And just such beautiful colors. But I think this paper is gorgeous for spring and for your Easter pictures. So any information on exactly where to get it will be underneath. And I'll have, try to add the shimmer brush so you know which shimmer brush I used. And there's my second page. Let me clean up my mess. See, I could have used a lot more flowers. Could have added more flowers to that. But you know, you can always add them later. So you're getting a basic look of me putting this together, and I'm using, you know, ideas from both of the pages, from two layouts from the workshop, and kind of doing my own thing. So you can, you know, you can totally do what you want to do. I don't know why my color changed. That is so weird. It's changing before my eyes. Sorry about that. That's not very attractive. Lost my bright white. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit more of the peach up here on top of beginnings and down here. So that way it kind of coordinates a little bit better. Carrying one element from one to the other helps to coordinate your pages and make them flow. God, I really don't know why that color changed. Huh, okay. So there it is. Up and down. I'm making you seasick. I'm sorry. There must be something about shadowing that is causing the color change like that. That's so weird. Looked better when I backed off. So bye now. Everybody take care and stay healthy, and hopefully everybody can get their vaccinations as soon as possible. We had ours, had no problem whatsoever. And I'm still trying to get away from that yellow light. I don't know what the heck is going on with my lighting. Bye now. Take care.